You're listening to the VRverse, a virtual reality podcast where two friends talk all things VR. Now, let's join your hosts, the VR Realm and Dr. Oculus.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 23 of the VRverse. Fancy new intros and things. I have to be prepared for the ending so I could say it's sad. Well, hello, everyone. Hope everyone has had a good day. So here for episode 23 of the VRverse, of course, with the lovely Dr. Oculus. I'm just gonna. I didn't open this before, so I'm sorry if you hear a cracking noise. That was my nail. Sorry.
I'm experiencing technical issues. It's fine. You can just keep going. Just keep vamping. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Doc is facing.
I opened the stream and now it's just vanished and I can't turn it off. So I'm getting you twice. I just wanted to watch that dope intro, man. That thing was awesome.
Put some work into it. Thought it'd be fun to have an intro. Got some person. The voice you hear on there is some person who does voiceovers for adverts in the UK and radios and stuff.
I was gonna say, like, who's our professional sounding voiceover person?
Yeah, he does a voiceover for adverts. He's worked with some big companies in the UK for voiceovers for adverts and stuff.
Cool.
Offering these servers through Fiverr. So I thought, you know what, I will use you. Let's get a good professional voice on the intro. Then we can cut to our unprofessional nature.
I mean, I definitely bring an air of unprofessionalism to things. I always do. As you could see by me failing a moment we went live. So yeah, that's good times. But that was an awesome show, man. I dig that. So there we go. Do the audio listeners get to hear that too, or is it just the people who join us live here on twitch.tv/theVRRealm?
The audio listeners will get it as well. I'll make sure that
cool.
That full intro part. I know they don't see the video, but the full song and the talking part will be in the audio version as well.
Nice.
So yeah.
Speaking of the talking part,
yes,
it's been a month again. It's been yet another month. A month of very many highs and a few lows as well.
Yes.
So what you been doing,
man? It's just like these releases are never going to stop. That's what it really, really feels like. Every month we come with releases.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of respite because we've had some delays as well, which is like, on one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, you only get one shot at releasing, and yeah, you should realistically be trying to put out the best possible thing. There's no point in putting out a janky, broken, garbage thing that nobody wants. You may as well release a good product and do it the first time and do it right. Yeah. So, Affected, the sequel, the Fallen Tree Planet people.
Yeah, what was it? Affected the Asylum. It's delayed. Yes,
that's been delayed. Which makes sense, because if you were ever going to rush it for any reason at all, you're going to rush it for the back end of October. Not like, if you get to the point where it's not out by Halloween, screw it. Just release it when it's ready, not when it's half baked.
Yeah.
Because you said you'd get it out early November. Just release it when you should do.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're not going to rush it out for Halloween, just don't rush it at all.
Now we got a delay to... One that I've sort of been keeping an eye on is make me think of Red Steel. I don't know if it's coming on everything or just PlayStation. Tiger Blade, I know that was due out on the 17th, and then it just never come out. And then the developers announced they're hoping to get it out at some point this year. That is the aim, but next month.
Yeah, time's running out on that one. So I wouldn't overly hold your breath.
No.
But as I said, it's better to do it right first time than do it one time and have everybody just say nah and then miss your window of just people actually caring. So
yeah,
I think it's much better if you do that. And then today, was it announced, Bulletstorm VR have pushed back to just a little bit till like January next year as well.
Yeah, that was yeah. I think that was late last night. Yeah.
That's once again another one of those things that I'm just like, it's fine. Go enjoy your Christmas vacation. Don't just work tirelessly, because there needs to be a work-life balance. I dig VR developers. They are my rock stars. I idolize them. So yeah, don't kill yourself to get me a game. Get it when you can. Just not right
too-
now. Like,
too-
don't worry about it.
Too many uncut games come out at the moment in the VR space.
Yes.
And then, oh, sorry, we're
Um,
going to fix it with a patch. And you're like, well, just delay it a little.
Yeah. Hellsweeper, for example, came out and everybody was like, I'm not liking this. Now, admittedly, it's functionally it's fine. Hellsweeper. There's nothing overly wrong with it. It's just that people were like, one of the things about previous games is that not only were they inventive, but they also looked great.
Yeah.
And this is a Quest game, no matter what platform you buy it on. So people were ultimately disappointed. So that's a little bit of a them problem.
Yeah.
But then they released notes saying it was always planned we were going to make it better after launch and things. And once again, that first window of opportunity of people buying your thing and having fun, they've now just taken a massive turd in it that people just can't seem to get past. So yeah,
so
Firewall, another
I think I know
prime example.
I think as well with Bulletstorm is it's made by Incurvo doing the VR release of it, and their release of Green Hell on PlayStation VR got so much stick. So I think maybe they've learned a lesson from that, as in like, oh, we were just better make
I
sure
keep
things
meaning to
are
go
ready.
back to that. Although the Green Hell, it was always the caveat of this is not the full, like this is early access. It was always. Wait, was it always told it was early access? It might not be.
I don't think
It
so.
might have been 1.0 when they released it. Yeah, in which case that was a bit whiffed. So they definitely maybe learn a few things. Something that Firewall just didn't at all.
Yeah.
And not only did they make the same game, they made the exact same problems, the exact same mistakes, which is just odd to me. But yes, so I'm all for pushing these games back because A, it buys us more time to finish what we have now, and B, I'd rather just have a good game in January than a crap game in November.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well,
Speaking of crap,
it's going to push.
yeah, yeah, go for it.
I think as well, pushing it back that way is. I mean, we normally complain that content is key, but we need a break and like you said, and a chance to play stuff that we've already got.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely, we do. I mean, admittedly, we're fortunate in that we're in a position where playing a vast quantity of VR games is an option.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they do have to just sort of buy a game and live with that game for a while.
Yeah.
And that's, it's absolutely fine. They can do that. But for those of us that try and keep up, well, to be fair, I stopped trying to keep up years ago. My to-do list is, I need to just quit real life and become a full-time streamer and just try and catch up with those games, or do a Croy and just have massive streams of just getting through a list, like playing 4 games a night or something. Because they keep coming too. We've got more games on the horizon, which we'll probably touch on a little bit later, because God, I can't wait for those.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another big tentpole game coming out. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But I was thinking of looking backwards first.
Yeah, definitely look at
what we've just had.
What's come out since over this last time. I mean, I've been jumping in quite a lot.
You're a machine. Like, you're way more committed than I am. I'm still back to that 20 minutes and move on guy.
But like I've said it on podcast before, I'm lucky enough to finish work at 2:30 in the afternoon every day. So it's like I've got so till I normally get in bed till about 11 o'clock to play a game if I want.
If I was committed enough, I could, wake up and do some stuff. But bed is just so appealing. So I don't know, but I'll commit to doing a lot more very, very soon. I think I might just start doing more over the weekend.
Yeah.
The plan was always to do YouTube stuff for like early week and then stream for the rest of the week. And the YouTube stuff has fallen apart from this very podcast, which you will be able to listen to over on the Dr. Oculus YouTube channel, if ever you want to catch any of the older episodes. We've managed to get a good chunk of them up now, and I'm going to start releasing those sort of maybe week by week or so, just to drip feed them for a little while until we catch up, and then just they'll go live within a week or so of them being on Twitch over on YouTube.
Yeah. And also we made, on that note as well, we also made a decision around the podcast. Moving forward from this month, we're going to start doing it on the last Tuesday of every month. So it's got a set, not a bank set date, but it's actually got a time frame.
A bit more consistency sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the last Tuesday, which we announced it this month, and then next month it's Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Which I don't know about you, but I'm probably going to be busy.
Yeah. It's going to be obviously public holiday permitting.
Yeah. So next month, maybe not so much, but New Year, maybe January 26th, probably that'll be fine for me.
Yep, should be fine.
So there we go. That's another bit of podcast news.
Yeah.
For us to announce.
So I think there's.
What have you been playing, Paul?
There's one thing that took up a lot of my November, and that was Power Wash Simulator VR. It took a lot of my November up.
Yes. I have been waiting for that game for so very, very long that when it came out, I could not contain myself. I had to just launch it and get into it and play it. And I've played a bit with Bork, I played a bit with you. I couldn't wait for that. Like they was like, the embargo list at 6 o'clock. I'm like, brilliant, 6:01 live. Like I couldn't wait to play that game.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, I don't know about you, but my general experience is it's quite broken and janky, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit meh, but I don't care. While it's got its problems, I'm willing to play through them.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's got the gameplay right, which is what you want. There's just, for example, when you were playing at the weekend, I joined you. It's a glitch in the co-op where if you walk with a ladder, it acts like you're walking up it, and then you can just fly off. It just breaks your locomotion.
Which would be fine if it was mildly controllable, but it's just not even consistent with the controls either. Like if I pushed forward and flew upwards, that'd be fine. But I didn't. I pushed forward and went down, and I went up or sideways, and I at one point I left the world. Like I left the map, ran around the edge of the world, I was like, hey, look at me. Couldn't get back in. So then I was like, crap, I'm going to have to actually restart, or I'm going to, not do anything on this skate park with you. And I felt bad inviting you into my game to just do all the work for me. I mean, talk about outsourcing to minions, but yeah, so that's a thing. Other things include, but not strictly limited to, be essentially being able to climb the scaffolding while it's not actually on anything. So that's good. I've done that a couple of times. Yes. Smooth turning, very, very broken. You set smooth turning, you're like, brilliant. Next level loads up, no smooth turning, and getting it back on's a nightmare. The UI has got very hit and miss. There is an option to toggle your movement mode on your left wrist. Sometimes it works.
Yeah. Sometimes
not so much. So yeah, very, very janky in so many places, but its core mechanic, which is all you really want to do, which is spray things with a pressure washer to go from a very, very mucky color to a clean color, works brilliantly.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy with doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, broken but brilliant for me.
Yeah, I never played a flat screen. I always wondered what the big buzz around the flat screen was. I was like, it's just power washing. Like, what's the big buzz? Then once I've put it on, like I said, it took up around 37 and a half hours now. Just power washing.
Hours.
It's just.
I need to put more time into it. Like I've just done the skate park with you, and then I think I did maybe a car or something afterwards. But yeah, there's way more to that game, and I just can't wait to do it. I slowly keep chipping away, either by myself. That's one of the few games I'll play off stream, because I'm just like, it's not a progressive story. People don't need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I just dig playing that game so much.
Yeah. There's one that came out to a bit of, I'd say, poo-pooing on the, but I think it was mainly the Quest play that had a lot of issues with, and that was the Foglands. Like, I just want to put some nice words out there about it because it got really slated.
Wait, did I get a code for that? I may have got a code for that and just completely ignored it. What kind of game is it?
A roguelike.
So it's a roguelike shooter, presumably.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it did have a shoot. I like every game. Where it launched from a small development team. I'm not going to say it ran perfectly. It has its issues, but I think it's got the core mechanic of a roguelike there. It's got your options for permanent upgrades. When you beat a boss, you get given like an elixir, which you then use for permanent upgrades. Once you're dead, you buy permanent upgrades with this elixir stuff.
Okay.
You collect scrap, which you can use to buy things to go in with at first. Like if you want a grenade, you can buy a grenade, or you might walk into a shop. Like there's a shop in there. You might walk into this guy and might say, actually, I want to buy this gun off you, and you can use it through your playthrough. If you want to store it and keep it for another run, you will lose it when you die, what you're holding. But every time you get to the shop, there's also a thing so you can send it back to your base, and then you don't have it. It takes it all off you. So that means maybe you might need to buy something later on. You might be short because you've sent it all back at another time. So sort of like choosing what's best for you. You'll find vault keys from previous runners. Runner keys, sorry, from previous runners. And with those, when you go back to the base, there's a locker room which you can unlock stuff at the back, and it's different cards like your temporary upgrades. You can buy extra cards from there, which will then might come up randomly in your boxes when you open them, so you get different upgrades and stuff.
Right. So yeah, you get unlocking sort of better, stronger upgrades to help you through runs as well.
Yes.
I like the sound of that. It was one of the games that showed up on was it the PlayStation showcase that they did?
Yeah.
Maybe beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Or something. It was a while ago. It was one of the games that was like, okay, I've seen that. What's this Foglands thing?
But I think,
and now it's out, and most people are just like, meh.
I think one of the big problems people have with it is a game. It's like it pales in comparison to something like the Light Brigade, and I think because we've seen what they can be like. Because I mean, you playing a Light Brigade on your stream made me try it. I'd had it and just never played it, and I was like, I want to just keep playing this, and I think people are making comparisons like, well, this has come out now, but it came out after this game, but this game is like miles ahead of you. But that game is made by, oh no, it wasn't. It was made by Funtronic Labs, wasn't it?
Light Brigade?
Yeah. I was going to say
the developer escapes me.
I was going to say Rebellion, but it wasn't. It was like Funtronic Labs or something like that.
Give it a Google.
Something around that.
You don't get this kind of thing on Between Realities.
Oh. Funtronic Labs or something like that.
Funtronic Labs, yeah.
Yeah.
Published it by Funtronic Labs.
Alright, okay.
Publisher Funtronic, developer Funtronic, yeah, they published and developed.
Yeah. Who made, oh my god, I'm trying to remember what that game was.
Fuji,
that's the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because that was so highly thought of, and it rightly so, because that's probably
it's adorable, yeah.
And the Light Brigade, it's probably one of the best Latin in depth for me, like the combatants for like that type of roguelike.
Yeah, the In Death changed the way I thought about roguelike games forever.
Yeah.
In a big bad way. So yeah, that absolutely is a thing. And so it's so it's not a bad game. It's just not as good as others.
Yeah.
That's your takeaway.
Yeah, I think that's what caused a lot of people to maybe diss it a bit, because it seemed like it was behind what came out like early in the year. And I think that's what made a few people a bit off of it. But to me, it was still fun.
I think Well Told is certainly a very interesting looking game.
It makes me think of Borderlands.
Right. Okay. So it's a bit cel shady.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I wonder if they've had any patches since, because I do actually have a code. I just completely forgot it even existed. So I totally want to get into it. Is it a flat screen game as well?
Yes,
a flat screen game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it can be played on PS5 or PSVR.
Okay, I mean, bully for them, I guess.
Yeah.
If you've got a flat version, more sales. More sales means more development for VR stuff. So I completely forgot that's a thing. I should totally play that. Probably Saturday. I'm not free Saturday. One day in the very, very near future. Somebody remind me.
Someone who I follow, I'll put 25 hours into it before they'd been happy that they'd done a run successfully. I think it took me.
Yeah, I heard people say it was easy and boring.
If you play it on story mode, you can get through it in your first run in like an hour and 40 minutes. But if you put it on, I think the problem is as well is it's one thing I found after I played it, because I managed a successful run on. I thought in my head, roguelikes are always difficult. My first run, I'm going on story just to get a feel for it, and got through it.
Yeah.
On my very first run in like an hour and 40 minutes. I thought, oh, so I went in. It only had regular after story, and in my head I was like, and I've completed it on regular, and I thought, well, what do I do now? Because I can't go any higher in difficulty. But what actually happens is when you complete a regular run, your next regular run, the enemies are going to have more health. There's going to be more enemies at a time. So although it stays on regular, they're increasing stuff inside of the game.
So they scale that way.
To make it harder. So
fair enough, I suppose. It's a little unclear, but...
Yeah.
Is there a reason to go back?
And not unless you want to unlock everything. Like, I did it... I think it took me about 6 hours to get through the easy and the normal run together. Overall, but I went back the next time and saw there was more. And then my enemies had more health. Unless you want to unlock all the upgrades. Unless you want to go and unlock all those extra cards and all that stuff. And fully upgrade your character.
If you're getting into these kinds of games now, then you should totally try Mother Gunship as well.
I've got Mother Gunship as well on the...
Yeah, you should give it a blast.
Quest or PC. I've got it on one
Unintended. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, Ball spent hours upon hours in that, and I've watched him, and I even dabble in every now and again because it is just so fun. And it is one that you are going to fail, you are going to lose, but you will keep progressing and get bigger and better guns and better stuff. And yeah, there's an end point as well. There's bosses and stuff. So yeah, give that one a bash if you're in the mood for another roguelike that's not available yet. That's a thing. So that came out to mixed, mostly low opinions then, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, I just wanted to give it at least some praise because I felt sorry. It's only a small development team as well, and I felt a bit sorry for them, getting it
I'm glad you did. I totally forgot about it, but I absolutely want to play it now. The old stuff, the Ghost Ship, the Ghost Signal. That one is another great roguelike game if you're into VR.
Definitely.
I've found the genre because of Vampire Survivors or something.
I found the genre mainly. Well, I played a lot of In Depth and then fell out with the genre, and then Light Brigade put me back into it, and then I actually got Ghost Signal. Well, their Fast Travel game sent me a code for it on the PlayStation when it came out on PlayStation, and I absolutely love it. I've unlocked every ship. I've ran it once with every ship. I absolutely love it.
I had it on the Quest and then played because that came out very recently on the PSVR as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
and playing on the PSVR 2 version, it is a wonderful, wonderful upgrade from the Quest. I wonder if it'll get a Quest 3 version. We'll have to look into that. But then, yes, the PSVR upgrade for it was absolutely fantastic. I would like eye tracking, targeting, or something like that, but it is what it is. And yeah, I dig that game as well. So now I'm kind of like most games, I've spread myself across about 8 different platforms and got nowhere on any of them, whereas I should just stick to one and finish it. So yeah, I should play more of it, and I will play more of it. I'm just waiting for that day when I break a leg or something and I can't do anything useful, so I just play VR.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from Ghost Signal to Ghost Busting, have you actually had a chance to play that yet? Because for me, it's like Schrodinger's VR game. Everybody says it's crap, but I've not played it to make it true. So it is both good and terrible all at the same time.
So I've got it the day it came out. The reason being, I had £20 credit on my PlayStation, so I was like, I might as well just pay the £8 for it, $7.99 for the standard edition, because it's obviously $27.99. I thought if it's bad, I've only paid $7.99. If it's good, I'll then pay the extra money to upgrade it to the super duper containment edition, because I think some of the DLC in the time further down, it's like Slimer DLC is coming in, but I think you only get that if you've got the full containment edition. Like you don't get it in a standard edition.
I think it'll be optional. I think you will be able to buy it later down the line, but you're probably going to be cheaper buying the containment.
Well, I actually
deluxe.
And if you buy the containment upgrade, it just costs exactly. It's the containment upgrade is available now. You go buy, and
that's what most people said. They were like,
it
"Do you know what?
costs
If I
exactly the
care about the
same."
game, I'll buy the extra.
Yeah, and it actually just costs the same as buying it straight away. So I was like, I might as well just wait and see if I like it. Yeah, so it took me a long time to go into it. I went into it with Midlife Gamist and Gaming Veteran. Scottish Game was going to join us, but unfortunately he was unwell, so we never got to jump in. And I enjoyed what I played, but it was more because I was playing it with people I know.
That can make all the difference in a game, yeah.
Like, not once in my head since playing with them have I thought, you know what? I'm going to jump in and just play with some random people. Not once.
I've had, shall we say, I dabble every now and again with the thought of buying it. Every now and again, something will trigger that motion in me where I'm like, I'm going to buy Ghostbusters today. And then just once again, it's the age-old, it is better to be thought an idiot than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. I'm happy thinking that it might be bad. I would rather just think it might be bad than buy it and then find out it actually is.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to tell me that it is just terrible, but I don't know if these people just had unrealistic expectations where they wanted to be, back to back with Venkman and Spengler, and it's not gonna be that. It was never going to be that because Sony are becoming protective of the franchise again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even think I would have been overly annoyed if it was, the Lady Ghostbusters again. I didn't entirely hate that movie, if I'm honest. But then again, with that comes Lightness Rise and all the other gubbins that come with it. So, yeah. But I don't know. I just the child in me. If you told me that one day I would be able to pretend to be a Ghostbuster in a virtual reality helmet, which weighs not much more than, a bag of sugar that I can wear without connecting it to a supercomputer, I would have called you a liar.
Yeah.
And yet I have the opportunity and I'm not jumping at it. And that saddens me a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
yeah,
it's got the same sort of gameplay loop as After the Fall. Like, you're going to go in, you're going to fight ghosts, you're going to make money, you're going to upgrade your equipment. You're going to unlock skins by doing so much runs and stuff and playing so many games of set modes and things like this. And I think that's what struck me is I've played maybe 2 hours on that night with Midlife and that, and I've never jumped back in. But with After the Fall, I'll jump in with randoms and I want to play that. But
Yeah.
Ghostbusters hadn't even crossed my mind of even turning it back on.
You've no desire to go out and just get a pickup game and just play with anybody. If it's not somebody you know about, you don't care. And if you're solo, you're just not bothered. You're not going in.
It's not fun in solo, yeah. Whereas after the fall, when I want to play that, I'll just go and join a random game. Like, I'm not bothered about it. I'll just search for an open lobby, an open session, and go in.
That's just it's very disappointing. I don't know if my inner child is going to be able to carry me through that game. By the sounds of things, everybody's just really disappointed. I could play it and then refund it if I buy it on Meta. Part of me thinks I may have a better experience if I buy it on PlayStation, but then they don't have a refund policy. And I've just gone back and forward, and I just cannot figure out if I'm going to buy it or not.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a plan. So if I can accrue enough Meta referrals, I might try and get it like super cheap or even for free.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll go on sale. Either way, did End Dreams make it, or did they just publish it?
I think End Dreams made it.
Now, one of the other things to take note is that End Dreams is actually about 4 different studios, if I remember rightly. So it could well be one of the, because up until that game, I would have very much said End Dreams were AAA golden, they make it, you buy it scenario.
Yeah.
But I'd need to look a little bit more into it to see what the deal is. But it's certainly not your Fract and Synapse. From what I heard, it's very much not that. And I can't help but get the feeling. I mean, even like key requests, for example, I generally have a pretty decent relationship with End Dreams. They're very, very nice. They chat to me. It's a great time. And this podcast isn't sponsored or anything. We don't just answer purely and solely to End Dreams. It's not something that we overly care about or anything like that. But even getting a key for that game, they were like, it's out of our hands, dude. You are going to have to go to Sony for this one. And I said, okay, so I'm going to be buying it then. So I can't help but get the feeling that maybe there might have been a bit of external input into the creation of the game.
Well, yeah, I've just looked there. It developer End Dreams and Sony Pictures Virtual Reality. So it seems like it's a joint.
Yeah, so I can't help but get the feeling that I'm not going to write End Dreams off just yet. End Dreams, once again, I think they maybe helped and/or published the Power Wash sim VR, but it was developed by Future Labs.
Yeah,
Future Labs is all over it, not End Dreams.
Yeah,
so that makes a lot more sense, and I think they're still a pretty solid studio. Well, they must be a pretty solid studio because didn't they just get bought for like $110 million?
Yeah, I think the company they're already what's it called, funded them before, like a grant, and then that company purchased them now. So I
mean, congratulations on that one, End Dream.
Yeah.
And it just it just goes to show that people do see value in VR.
Yep.
$110 million worth of value, no less.
But they are one of those developers that, like you said, you have a feeling that what they're going to release is going to be outstanding. But even if they've had a big hand in Ghostbusters and things, like every developer's got a dud somewhere.
Oh, definitely, yeah. There's every single developer. There is a game that they're just like, just don't look over there. Look at this shiny thing.
Yeah.
So that is a thing. So yeah, still I don't know. One day I will come back to this podcast and be like, why were you all tripping? Ghostbusters is dope. Or maybe I'll just completely forget it exists.
But they have as well. They've just added a new game mode to Ghostbusters as a free update a few days ago. Another game mode in there, which I suppose is a way to at least they're updating it.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, this is certainly known. We've always known they were going to do stuff to update the game and the DLC that we talked about earlier. So, yeah, it's going to be an ongoing thing by all accounts. Although at some point they've got to think: is there going to be any kind of a return on investment? Is anybody actually even playing this now?
Yeah.
So they may even abandon. I suppose if they've sold DLC, like pre-sold DLC to people, I guess they have to go ahead with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it would be quite damaging to their reputation if they didn't.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, I'm still just waiting for it to either be cheap enough or for one person to be like, just do it, just buy the Goram game and stop thinking about it. Like I woke up singing songs from Ghostbusters 2 the other day, and I was just like, it's a sign I should buy Ghostbusters on the play. I'm not doing it. I've not done it. I wouldn't have time. I mean, this week, for example, normally I would play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Saturdays, and then today I'm here. Tomorrow I've got dinner with a couple of members of the VR community, and then Saturday I'm going out with the wife. So I'm not even going to get to play any VR this week. Maybe I should do like a Crack of Dawn stream, where at least I get some content out there for the poor schmucks that pay me money. I don't know.
So
But anyway, enough about me.
From one franchise I thought was going to be outstanding, which was Ghostbusters, to one that's got a cult following. And again, another studio that I don't think has put anything bad out in fast travel games. I know we've already mentioned them. But they brought Vampire the Masquerade to VR. And to me, seeing that franchise come was a shock because it's really only got a cult following. Like in the general state of the base flat screen game is more of a cult following than like anything that stands out massive.
It's a massive world that started out as an RPG game, isn't it? It started out as a book tabletop, role playing D&D kind of world, and I've had many different iterations of that game over the years, and yet I don't have the VR one. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why. Because as you said, fast travel games notoriously great developers. And there was technically nothing wrong with Wraith Aftermath, but I hated it because I just don't like overly stealthy games.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually no, I can get along with overly stealthy games, but there was a part where every time I even just got just glanced at by an enemy, I was dead and I was back like 2 minutes worth of gameplay, and it just became so frustrating that I rage quit that game. So I'm afraid this game is going to be similar, if not the same. It's got to be a bit sneaky, no?
It's best to be sneaky.
Right.
But you don't have to be. I don't think there's like one mission where you have to not be spotted. It's easy if you're not.
Right. So yeah, it's like many of these games, even from the games like GoldenEye 007 on the N64. You could go in guns blazing, but you would generally have a better time if you were a bit sneaky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. Because even the flat screen games, like I think the latest flat screen game was a bit of a dud for it, and I thought, oh, well, making it into VR, bringing it to VR, is it gonna carry over well?
Yeah.
But again, it was in the hands of a developer. I know have always made good games. Like
they are pretty consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you had a good time then. So, would you compare it more to Dishonored than? Did you ever play Wraith?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and is it very wraithy, or is it a bit more like Dishonored or something not quite as serious?
Yeah, I think people's description of Dishonored that people put out is quite a good thing. You feel like you're climbing up walls, jumping across rooftops, and
I get that vibe,
stealth killing
from
people,
it, both in look and everything.
Yeah,
everything else.
Yeah, I would say it's. I wouldn't say it's on the level of stealth that you need in Wraith.
That's good.
Wraith was a push for stealth. It was like you said, it was so easy to get spotted in it as well.
Yeah. I thought the thing that was going to put me off that game was just fear, but it turned out to be anger. It was very, very strange.
Yeah.
Maybe one day somebody will pay me enough to go back to it, but I can't see it.
So yeah.
Speaking of amazing devs and great looking games, did you see the new trailer for Arizona Sunshine?
I've been avoiding them because I wouldn't like it all to be in my face when I go in, if you know what I mean.
Like Vertigo Games is just another one of those studios. I'm just like, oh yeah, you make good stuff. So yeah, I just saw the new trailer for that, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And people are starting to put out like content as well. Obviously, the bigger people, and rightly so. They're generating the hype. The hype train for that game is very much at full steam. So yeah, I can't wait.
Not long to wait.
That. Yeah, it's early December, is it?
7th of December.
December. So it's like 2-3 weeks away.
Yeah.
That's good to know. That is really good to know. Very much so. Like VR seems to be getting some very good. I don't entirely know what counts as AAA in the VR space, but yeah, we are getting some phenomenal sort of AAA quality titles.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. And one of them is a game that everyone's been talking about and playing. Assassin's Creed.
I thought I'd lost you again.
No. I think that was on your end because your webcam froze on my screen.
No, I was like sat in just like statue still, just like waiting for you to say Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it is. Assassin's Creed came out on the Meta Quest. I'm fortunate enough to be playing it on a Quest 3.
Same, yeah.
And oh dear Lord, that game is astonishing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, broken in areas. Certainly, it's got its flaws. I'm trying to think of a time when a VR game came out and it was flawless.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've met a game I can't break.
No. Definitely you like to look for the breakages.
I do. I like breaking games in a big bad way. So yeah, I mean, for example, so I sort of played the first hour on stream the other night, and I got to the part with the first, throw yourself off a thing into hay section.
Yeah.
And I did, admittedly, this wasn't game breaking. I jumped out of the thing and into the hay, and it was like, whenever you're a flashing white, it means you're hidden. And I was like, brilliant. Whip my knife out, jump out, and stabbed a villager in the neck. And they were like, yeah, you don't do that. These people are innocent. But I'm me. And a woman started running away, and I was like, well, you're a witness, so you need to die. Chased her down and stabbed her in the back. So then the game's like, yeah, you've killed too many innocent people, you have to start again. Brilliant. So I got to throw myself off of the thing again, jumped into the hay, but kind of landed in the hay, kind of didn't. Kept on walking, climbed up a post, and then it just rubber banded me back to the top to jump into the hay again.
Yeah.
So stuff like that happens.
I've had that once, and I was climbing this building. I'm not going to say any more about the mission because it's one that's quite far, well, not quite far down the line, but I'm a good 6 hours into it.
Nice.
I've got to climb up a building in Venice, one of the areas you go to, Assetto, and then I got to the top where the mission point was. And as I grabbed all the ledge, it rubber banded me all the way back down to the bottom. And I was like, I've just climbed that whole building.
That'd be a bit frustrating, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, but let's just say I can't think of a VR game that I've played that's not been a little bit messed up or janky. Or in fact, no, scratch VR from that sentence. I can't think of a game I've played recently that's not been a little bit janky or broken.
Yeah, true.
And we all talk about the golden age when games used to come out and you didn't need a 10 gig day one patch. That's because they couldn't.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 64, for example, was riddled with glitches that people exploited to get faster times. It was a feature. There was no such thing as a bug back then. They couldn't squash them. They just did what they could and then put it out, and that was it. Maybe they did a slight refresh so people who bought the game later got a different version, but all in all, there was no such thing as updates. So games have been janky for always, but it's a thing. So you're 6 hours deep into that game.
Yeah.
And do you think you're getting anywhere near completion, or do you think there's still more to it?
I still think there's more to it. I feel like I've basically gone through the 3 characters, and now I'm back at Ezio again. So I imagine I'll have to still go back to the other characters again.
So you're playing Ezio, Altair, and whoever the other ones are.
You play Ezio, Cassandra from the Roman one.
China?
From the Roman one.
That one, the China one, or
there
was another one that was set around Assassin's Creed 3, right? That had a woman.
No, that was that it's what's the one? The one that's set in Rome. If you choose like the female character in that one.
I don't know. I played the first one, I played the first one to completion. Played the second one and kind of got a little bit bored because I had to build a town. Owned the third one. Owned the fourth one. Owned the fifth one, maybe. A Brotherhood and all that gubbins I never bothered with. So yeah, I own many of them, but I don't actually play many of them.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That's one of the more recent ones, isn't it? In like Egypt or something?
Yeah. You play as her. You
Oh.
play as the woman.
Okay.
If you choose like the female character in there, you get Cassandra. And then you play Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. There's like the 3 characters that are in it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So from what I remember of Assassin's Creed, you're somebody outside of the world and you're getting into like VR and stuff. Or they're you sleep and you're in a different body kind of situation.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. The point is, so the person has that changed ever, or are you still just somebody going to sleep and waking up as an assassin?
You're still someone because you're still. As mentioned, this the first woman you talk to works at Stargo, which was a company in all of them, which make the animuses that you get into to travel into these assassins, these back in time into these assassins. So that's still going on.
So that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. The last time we came together, we were talking about Assassin's Creed, and I was worried. I had some worries that it was going to be just a series of set piece. Like, you'll hit a set piece, they'll be like, okay, this is the climbing section, climb this building for the next 3 minutes, and then you'll get a bit of storyline, and then sort of similar to Medal of Honor, where you sort of play a little set piece where you're in a sniper tower and you snipe, and then the scenes happen, and then you move on. So I was afraid of that. And so far, what I've played, I wouldn't say that's the game I've gotten. I think my fears were unwarranted, and it actually seems to be fairly coherent and actually a game.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that statement? Because you've played a lot more than me. I played an hour.
I would, yeah. It's like each location you visit, it seems to get better as well. Which, like, being in Venice just blew like the setting of there, like using your it plays like the games in the way of the movement and getting around, as in you're going to run, but you're just going to hold a button. It does that in the flat screen. You just hold a button to get your run going.
Yeah.
Because that's like in the Venice, you can run and you're jumping across the post and the canal and stuff to get away from people and things. And it's just, it all comes together like perfectly.
I did find that was a little bit, the controls in that aspect were a little bit annoying, because you have to hold A to parkour, right?
Mm-hmm.
To run. But if I ever wanted to turn, like I'm running across rooftops or something,
You have to stop and turn down. It's weird.
yeah, like I have to let go of the parkour button, then do the turn, and then back onto the parkour. And that felt a little bit Meh. If it was on PC, if I was on Steam, I'd be rebinding it to like a grip or something instead.
Yeah.
Just so I could parkour with a different. Even if it was just clicking a stick into parkour, I would rather do that so that I can still parkour and turn.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest problem with that game.
And I think
that's nitpicking.
the other part of the jank is, and it's there's jank in everything. When they take this approach, when they do the full physical body approach in the game for your character, so you might find you just randomly just find jank in the way you grab things or you run into things, and I mean you get it in Boneworks, which is built around general being real life physics, and you get it a lot in there. There's the jank from just the general body model, and you get it in this.
I think there's some jank just around the quest in general. Every now and again, what was I playing? This morning I was playing Thrill of the Fight in the Quest 3, and my left controller just kept walking away from me for just no reason at all. Like it's not, the tracking on the Quest 3 is not bad, but it's not amazing. Like I still feel like the Quest 2 is the most superior tracking VR headset, quest wise. Index is clearly superior because obviously it's outside lighthouses, but yeah, I feel like the Quest Pro that tracks itself with its cameras built into the controllers, they're garbage. They're terrible. I'm not a fan. Like to me, it's Quest 2, Quest 3, Quest Pro as far as tracking goes. So I think some of that might just be down to hardware more than anything else. Did you turn on the nose? No, I turned on the nose and was like, my God, that's one hell of a conk, and rather distracting, I need to turn it off. I don't know whether it's because I'm just not used to seeing a nose in VR, or if in real life, unless I look for it, I don't really see a nose, so I don't feel overly needing to see a nose in VR.
I've done that as a comfort option.
Maybe. It might be something just help trick people a little bit more. But one of the things I love about this game, the onboarding side of it, where you turn that game on, and I don't care if you've been in VR for a decade or VR for like 10 minutes, they walk you through that process of getting you the perfect experience for you, no matter what level of VR gamer you are.
Yeah.
That is the way it should be done. Every game needs exactly what they've got.
Yeah.
Because that's perfect.
It
goes through all your left-handed, right-handed, all of that. It's superb. It's the best I've ever seen for like onboarding into a VR game.
Yeah, definitely. The reason I was asking was the nose, a comfort thing, because I remember Ubisoft with their Eagle Flight game. You could turn the beak on for comfort, so you saw the beak of the bird. So I'm thinking, is that they've sort of tried to just carry that over?
Maybe. This game may excuse that game in a big bad way, because I think, was that a VR Souls game night that we all went out and bought this fucking bird game?
Yeah.
And then it turns out that the multiplayer just didn't work.
Yeah, I think it was like multiplayer, but you weren't in the same instance, but you were all...
Yeah.
It was so weird, wasn't it?
There was no multiplayer. So then as we all sort of was launching it and like, oh yeah, there's a bird game. It's like, okay, let's get in. And then none of us could actually play together. It's like, okay, we need to last minute pivot this because this is just no good at all.
Yeah.
And to turn off the blinders, to turn off the vignette, didn't you have to go and edit like an INI file? It was really bad.
It was a very
for
early,
a VR veteran.
a very early VR game, wasn't it?
Big time.
But
it's brought us here. They've been. If you think about VR catalog for Ubisoft, they're not really full of stinkers. You've got Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah.
Fantastic game.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Well executed. Superb. Werewolf Within. Once again, they knew the assignment, they took it, and they made it an astonishing game. It's brilliant.
It's a shame the servers died on that one. I used to love just getting in that on have a drink and getting
nobody can play it.
Yeah, no, you can't even play it at all.
No, I've sat in a lobby. I've never actually managed to get into a game.
That was funny.
Space
that night.
Junkies.
Space Junkies was
That was so frustrating for me.
Space Junkies was good, just priced wrong. And
Yeah,
again,
that was the thing. It was very well executed. Other terrible decisions were made, though. If you want to make a multiplayer game in VR, you either have to have something that is basically got like a legacy fan base, or you need to be free.
yeah,
There's no like, even if you charge £5 for Space Junkies, I still think it would have died on its ass.
I think they should have followed the. I know it sort of came into VR a bit later down the line, but the Pot 1 thing, like, I know Pot 1 was paid for
Yeah.
originally, but it's free and they're funded by people buying skins and people buying the season pass. I think it would have worked a lot better as that sort of thing, like a live service type game. They're just gonna a live service that's gonna release seasons. They're gonna release different outfits you can buy for your Space Junkie and stuff. And I think it would have coped a lot more better.
Yeah, all of the games have been great. It's just they've just been the worst kind of choices they could make. Whereas this is the best option, the best choice. I mean, short of the three-eyed ninja man, what's his name? Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell.
That's the only other game that people are going to be like, yeah, Ubisoft, make this. Don't get me wrong. You want to make a Far Cry game? Yeah, I'm in. I'll totally play a Far Cry game all day. But yeah, Splinter Cell is the other game that people want. So they've taken a franchise, and I guess that you could probably say they were training in all the other games.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can see them in this game, but if that's what it took to get us here, fair enough. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think Meta's thrown a lot of money at them, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why it's Meta exclusive. They haven't even said it's timed or anything. It's just, but I think they were announced at Meta's showcase originally. Like, we're getting together and we're making this game. When they first announced Assassin's Creed, when they did announce Splinter Cell at the same time, and then go away Splinter Cell. But yeah,
I wonder if, because wasn't that the same one they announced Grand Theft Auto, which it not only was the ink not dry, the ink wasn't even poured yet. Like, I think they announced Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar were like, it's news to us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of vanished, and most people have not forgotten about it. We'll keep bringing it up all the time until the end of the time, until somebody makes it happen. But yeah, that's a thing.
With Assassin's Creed, I would honestly say, like, if you've got, I mean, I haven't tried it on the Quest 2. I don't know how it performs on that. But it's worth the money they're charging for it. It is worth the £35. Even the 6 hours I've had, it's been worth that money. Like, if it ended then, after the 6 hours I've played it, I would have been happy with what I got.
Maybe I should do a comparison and just try all three. 2 Pro and 3, and see if there is much or... Well, I know there is one element that I'm definitely going to miss on the Quest 2. And that's the... Do you know, like the Metal Gear Solid, where you're in the communicator and you've got one face on the left and one face on the right, and you're talking to people? Well, they do something very similar in this Assassin's Creed using mixed reality.
Yeah.
And it is astounding. Like, it's the first time I've looked at mixed reality content and went, oh, that works. That is worth having mixed reality for. And it's dumb. Like, it's not a massive gameplay element. And whilst I feel like the Quest 2 would suffer for not having it, it's not going to suffer massively. It's not a big element to it at all. Much of an argument can be made for the mixed reality of the cabin, or Paradiddle and Smash Drums and Yuki and all these other games use mixed reality in a big bad way. But this isn't the game saying, ooh, look, you can see areas of your real world. It's very, very subtle, and it enhances it. And it's the first time it's just not felt like a weird gimmick that's been shoehorned in because Meta asked people to.
Yeah. Definitely.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And it's, as I say, it's just a small like mini game where you're just putting cubes in to unlock, like an unlock pattern on a phone. Like, it's weird, but it's brilliant.
Yeah. Definitely worth it. I think, like you said as well, with that pass through, it sort of doesn't spring it on you. Like, it just seems like you'll be there and just suddenly go, and then you can, like you said, it's not a shock. It's not like they've, like you said, try to force it in to make it. Oh, look, we can do this. It feels like it was always planned. It's not like, I mean, this was announced when the Quest 2 wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
When they announced this, and it just seems like it's always been there. It's always been a part of their plan. Oh, we're gonna get this in because it's implemented so well. It seems like they've had a lot of time to implement it.
Yeah, it just works. It just fits, and it's so seamless. It's something I didn't think I would care about MR, but it's actually nicer than I thought it would be. Still not played Demio yet.
Me neither.
No, I don't know. Maybe I can. I don't even know if I can launch it on 2 devices at once. Maybe I can shoe on the wife into the Quest.
Mm.
Speaking of shoehorning people into the Quest, I bought a Bobo M3.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yeah. It's definitely extending the battery life of the Quest, which the Quest was maybe an hour and 45 while streaming, 2 hours tops Quest battery life.
Yeah.
So it's that, but the biggest thing was just ditching the ball hugger, the jock strap.
Yeah.
It was mostly just to ditch that strap. It was fine, but fine tuning the comfort on it was just so fiddly and annoying. So I wanted to just ditch that and just get a head strap that I could easily just plonk on my face. And it definitely does that. I'm not a fan of Halos by any stretch of the imagination. But that one certainly does the job. The battery's definitely underpowered. It's aimed at the Quest 2. It even says on the battery it's like Quest 2 battery pack. It's not a Quest 3 battery. So it's it extends or should I say reduces the drain time. So it makes the battery drain slower. That's words in English. But other than that, I don't know if it's its final form for the Quest for me.
Yeah. I think the guy who makes it come out and said that they do plan on releasing a better battery that's made for the Quest 3. So
hopefully, which I mean, I bought this thing to go with the Quest 3. I would like to think there's going to be maybe some sort of a discount or something that's going to make it a better, because I don't know. I just couldn't wait for anybody else to make a strap. I needed a new head strap. And they were making one. The fact that it just contained a battery, it was reasonably priced. I'll give them that, because I'm pretty sure the Kiwis are like 60, 70 quid or something, 100 quid for the head straps. Whereas this was about 53 and change with shipping. So that was very reasonably priced. So it's all right. It's not too shabby at all.
So I got the they sent me Zyber sent me theirs head strap, which is basically like the Kiwi head straps. No battery on it though. It's just a comfort head strap.
So, but comfort-wise, it's good. It's your usual sort of over-the-top,
It's basically just looks like a Kiwi one, with the foldable hinges.
But they do a weird thing with their battery, don't they?
Yeah, they sent me a neck battery. So
which I don't entirely hate the idea of.
I wasn't sure at first. I thought, is it going to be weird to have this thing around your neck? But it's actually, you forget it's there when you're playing. What they've done is on the one side's a battery, the other side they've weighted it to the same as the battery on the other side, so it balances it. When it's first on, you do think, oh god, it's not heavy, it's not like overly bulky.
Like a missed opportunity,
and it's just sort of like and then you actually, as soon as you get in the headset and you're playing, you soon forget it's there. Like.
But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing that you forget it's like a.
Well, not even that. So, I was recently a 2-minute guest on another podcast. Sorry, I cheated on you. Yeah, I was chatting on Between Realities with Alex and Skeeva, and yeah, we ended up, the chat drifted over to the Apple headset. And one of the things that we were talking about is form factor and things like that on headsets. And I think that one of the things that Apple are doing that they're going to do very, very well, and it's hopefully going to normalize the process, they have a battery off of the headset. They're reducing weight by putting the battery on the other end of a cable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's been tried with the Magic Leap. It's been tried with the Vive Flow, for example. All of these headsets have done that, but the Vive Flow is an absolute turd of a headset. I spent money on it for stupid reasons, and I will probably it'll never see the light of day again. And the Magic Leap, I believe, is being discontinued very, very soon. So yeah, that's kind of dying a death. But if Apple can, and this is what they generally do, if they can normalize taking something like a battery off of the headset, it's the first step to then removing other things.
Mm-hmm.
And the more stuff you take off of the headset, the smaller and comfier and fun that thing is going to get. So I like the idea of taking the battery away from the headset and wrapping it around your neck, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not, choke me neck, but yeah, like what they're doing there is going to start normalizing the process of having additional things on your body that's not part of the headset that are then going to enhance the headset. And I think if we can start getting there, we could then take the whole thing to a whole new level.
Yeah. So the actual as well with the Zyber neck battery as well, it is actually a fast charging battery that actually charge your Quest 3 while you're using it. So it will actually, it's not like I was using I never know how to say it. I think it's Nirvana, but obviously they spell it with the VR rather than the.
Yeah, I've never known how to say it. Nivriana. It's always been a bit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to name a thing, make it freaking easy for us morons to say, because I always. There was that mech game way, way, way back when Vox Machine.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I came across a thing where I was like, how the flying ducky do I say this? And I messed it up, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to live with it. I'm not going to edit the video. Don't care. So. Yeah, but either way, yeah. So their battery, that just extends the battery life as well. It doesn't charge it.
Yeah, it uses like the Bobo one. It will extend it. It will make it drain slower. Like
Yes.
It's going to drain still, but it'll drain a bit slower.
Whereas the one I have for the Kiwi with the Velcro strap that you can Velcro it to most places. Once again, that will charge your Quest 3 whilst playing.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing Windlands 1 from start to finish the other month, and I got about 2 hours in and the Quest was dying. I was like, oh no, I need to charge it. So then I plugged that in, and then I realized it was actually charging the headset while I was playing. So, and that's something that you could chuck in a pocket or strap it. The strap on it's not big enough to go around an arm, but you could very easily make it big enough to go around an arm, or you could strap it to the headset or wherever you want. So yeah, if you have that battery, you're golden any which way. You can just move it to a different head strap. You're fine.
Yeah.
So you're there peripheral wise. I like the idea. I think the battery on one side and a weight on the other one is a missed opportunity. Why not just make a better battery?
Yeah, that's what
I thought. Just daisy chain two cells together. I don't understand.
I think
the
weighted side on the other side has got all the readers in, so you can press it to see how much battery's left in it and stuff. It lights that up and things like that. But I don't know whether as well the advertised swappable batteries is a good thing about it.
For that, they could easily put another battery in it, but it's I guess cost is another thing as well.
Yeah, but they advertise swappable batteries, but they don't sell the batteries on their own at the moment. Which I was like, well, you need I'm not going to buy another neck strap to get another battery to swap. It's just swapping a neck strap over then, rather than a battery. But maybe it's something they've got planned down the line. Maybe that's why they're advertising hot swapping batteries with it. Maybe it's something they've got planned down the line. Obviously, they've just brought these accessories out. So
yeah, I've got the Vive wireless battery somewhere. That's like an 18-watt battery, so that should charge the Quest.
Yeah.
Once again, that's got like a belt clip on it. So I think battery-wise, I'm fine. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't want any more. Send me your stuff. But yeah, I will happily try it. But I think I'm pretty much covered battery-wise.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of comfort for me, and I'm mildly okay with it. I tried it. The developer of TwistX, which I'm totally going to play soon because I've got to pass through twist it and lock it mode. Yeah, they was like, do you know when you've got the Bobo head strap, while you've got the facial shield off to install it, just try it as like a mixed reality. Yeah. And seriously, if you get chance, totally try that. Because what it means is that basically you can still see all of the world around you, and then you see the pass through, and the difference between what you're seeing and what's like obscured by the headset is quite minimal. It's very, very good, and it's a wonderful like a wonderful, not so much a feature, but it's a wonderful sort of thing to look at that. And just if you are doing things like, everybody seems to have a video out where they're doing the dishes or something, whilst watching YouTube in a window. Watch my videos while I'm doing the dishes. Everybody seems to have this video out, and I think that kind of thing would be very useful for that.
Yeah.
Now, the people that do have all these videos out, they are meta content creators, and they're probably being paid for it. And I wish I could be paid for doing that as well. I'm not angry at them at all, but clearly Meta have an agenda, and they're using their minions to push that agenda. Why else have a stable of content creators if you're not going to get them to do that kind of crap?
Yeah.
And yeah, it is kind of selling me on the whole mixed reality side of things. It's not as much of a, well, no, it is absolutely a gimmick, but I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, definitely. So back with the AAA, do you think? Obviously, it's a AAA franchise, Assassin's Creed, always will be. Do you think that if this is a success, it might tempt more AAA developers? I know we've got some like Capcom and stuff, but they're sort of just pivoting a VR mode into their game rather than make a VR game, if you know what I mean.
Yes, like actually stop making VR add-ons for Resident Evil and give us Resident Evil VR sort of thing.
I mean, they did it for the Quest in a way, but again, it should.
Yeah, I suppose. But then again, was that actually Capcom, or did they farm that out?
Oh, they farmed out, didn't it, to the people who made Recall?
Yeah. So, which is actually a massively common practice in the world of VR. People who did a game that was not very well received or very well made have now been tasked with making a very big game, and both games escape me. I'm a terrible human being. I was shocked when they said that they were doing it, and then thought, do you know what? Like, more power to them. Screw it. They know what they're doing. Oh, it's VR Monkey. What are VR Monkey doing? They do Galaxy Kart, which most people are like, yeah, this game's just a janky, broken mess. But they are doing something that's big, right?
I've just played one recently. VR Monkey popped up on the screen, and I was surprised it was VR Monkey. Oh my god, what was it?
If you Google VR Monkey, you just get Gorilla Tag. Oh, here we go. VR Monkey games. The chat's probably screaming at us.
I'm working behind the chat. VR Monkey. What have I recently played that they're involved in? I need to find out.
They've made many a game, and not all games are actually overly terrible. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Wait, their portfolio includes Wraith Afterlife, Yuki, Gadgeteer, Windlands 2. What? Oh, they ported it to PSVR. That's it. Are they porting a game to PSVR?
Maybe.
They ported Yuki to PSVR, Wraith Afterlife to PSVR and Pico. Synth Riders, they ported that to Pico. What's the game that they're working on, though? Dang it. I need to know.
But I am hoping, by looking for that, I am hoping, obviously, the success of Assassin's Creed might convince them to rethink about Splinter Cell.
Maybe. I suppose the big thing is the return on investment. That's going to be the be all and end all.
Mhm.
Now, Meta may have sweetened the deal enough to make them for it to seem worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then the thing now is that it's like, yeah, well, we got our ROI on that, but Meta were like, look, we'll throw you a bunch of money,
Yeah.
for Assassin's Creed, but we're kind of not bothered about, Splinter Cell. Maybe it's a bit too violent for us or something. We're happy for stabbing people with invisible blades, but Sam Fisher's a real world person that's going to murder people rather than in a simulation. So no, we can't do that. I don't know.
But I am really hoping that the success of it will make some. I mean, I know like I said, we've had Capcom do stuff. We've had EA do like Battlefront. But not Battlefront. What was it called? The Star Wars. What was the Star Wars? Shooty.
Oh,
Squadrons. We had EA doing that, but again, that was like a flat screen with a VR mode. I'm just hoping it will tempt some of these companies to think, you know what, maybe we should sit down and just make a native VR game. That's what it's for.
Hopefully, I do hope they have, but I do not begrudge a dev diversifying and making a flat.
No.
Because look at freaking Demio.
Yeah.
I was scrolling around today and I was like, oh, Demio's in the sale. Yeah, it is reduced from like 60 quid to 30 quid.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I only paid 20, if not maybe even 18 for that game. Obviously the new content has bumped the price up, but that's playable on both flat and VR. And I do not begrudge them having that option at all. It's brilliant. I get to play with more people because there are people that can play at flat screen while I'm in virtual reality. I'm fine with that.
So we've had something else with the AAA. We've had Horizon taking the Golden Joystick Award for Best VR Game of the Year. They're in nominations for the Game Award for Best VR. To me, I'll put my opinion out there straight away. That's one because it's got the name. In the Golden Joystick Awards, if someone's voting who doesn't play VR, they know Horizon as a name. It's like Hitman 3 getting VR Game of the Year on the Steam Awards. Like, that's just people voting for it because they're getting asked to vote for it. And I know Hitman.
Brand recognition. They're like, oh yeah, vote for this, and they were like, I don't know, Hitman. I know Hitman. That's brilliant. Yeah, let's go for that one. Yeah. I either that or, and let's face it, shouldn't be a shock, but I think you can buy these awards, man. like you have to literally pay money to even be nominated for an award, and it wouldn't shock me if Sony and or Guerrilla have purchased this award. It just doesn't make sense.
It's at a point where, like, the games it was up against, like Vertigo 2, for me is probably the best game that released this year. In the choice I had out of those, Vertigo 2 is miles ahead of it.
As far as VR games go, don't get me wrong, not terrible, but it's not great either. The reprojection is it's like you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Like it's just, whoa. The reprojection on that is rather noticeable. After the initial sort of first bit, it is incredibly noticeable. You poured all the time, effort, and money into that boat ride, and then after that, Donzo.
What I've turned around about what I'm hoping is, even if this recognition's here, Sony are always talking about how PlayStation VR 2 would be hybrid. They'd be pushing developers to implement VR. We haven't really seen that outside of the ones that normally do yet.
No, they've not pushed it anywhere, have they?
And they've obviously turned around recently and said it's not our main priority at the moment. the PlayStation VR 2 is not our main focus at this very moment. They've come out and said that.
It's still one of my favorite headsets.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I don't think I can get a better experience on any other headset anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely. But again, it makes me sit there and think,
Tracking.
Sony make endless AAA exclusives. Like, if you're going to be like, saying hybrid, why aren't you putting in your own games?
Well, we were shitting all over Sony for their own games earlier with Ghostbusters. They were certainly part of that. I think maybe a bigger part than what maybe we all know. But then Sony, like many other places, are buying up studios. Where's Spider-Man, Sony? Give me Spider-Man. Come on.
Insomniac have a record of making decent VR games. They give us bloody Stormlands.
Yeah, Stormlands. That was a good game. They did Rhombus of Ruin, the Psychonauts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're no stranger to virtual reality. And if you need any help, pretty sure SciTech will be able to give you a bit of hand. There is actually the whole swinging around in a VR game happening quite a lot now.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few games. Swarm is one where you're swinging around in VR and shooting things while you're doing that.
Was Resist?
There's another trailer going around at the minute as well.
Is Resist that just had a recent update for the Quest? Hasn't that got swinging in it?
Oh, has that got a Quest 3 update?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to try that. I think there's quite a few games getting updates now. Richie's Plank Experience just had a mixed reality update and DLC announced, or maybe even released for it. I don't know. I'm in so many different playtests. I don't know what I should say. But I know a bunch of people have been putting out videos about it, so screw it. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Sony should totally jump all over that, if nothing else.
We've also got to look at
feel like
the IPs they own. The IPs that they've killed. That Killzone. Give us a VR Killzone.
You and Jimmy just need to go and march on Sony and be like, where the hell is Killzone? Come on. Was Killzone a Guerrilla Games game?
Yeah, Guerrilla Games, yeah.
So, I mean, they've got a bit of VR under the belt now. I would say maybe they were testing the waters with the baby so they could then try it with the big boy. But realistically, if you were ever going to test the waters and then put the effort into the other one, you do it your way around. Yeah. Take the dead franchise, revive it with VR, and then
Resistance Fall of Man. Give us Resistance Fall of Man even. That had a cult following. That was Insomniac as well.
Killzone game?
No, there was Killzone, Resistance Fall of Man. I think Insomniac made Resistance Fall of Man.
Was that every now and again you would hear rumors, oh, this game's going to be removed from the shelves, it's too and so I rushed out and bought Hitman 2 or 3 or whatever. I literally phoned my mom and was like, you're at work right now. It's like, yeah. You got Hitman on the Xbox? Yeah. All right, buy it and I'll pay you back when I get home. Why? Just do it. It's gonna disappear. I won't ever get to play it again. I didn't play it when I got it, but then it didn't vanish either. And I'm pretty sure that was one of those games that was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be pulled from shelves.
Yeah, Resistance
because of a
1
scene in a church. Or...
Yeah, it was in Manchester Cathedral, killing monsters in Manchester Cathedral. But it was like,
did it ever happen?
It was proper mapped like Manchester Cathedral, like it looked like inside. So I think they were worried about shootings in churches and stuff. So they were it never ever got pulled though. It stayed out.
There we go. Yeah, I swear it's just a marketing ploy half the time. So,
well, I mean, if you wanna keep me happy, really happy, Sony, just give us Socom or Socom, however people say it. I call it Socom, being English and from the north.
Yeah, the shooty.
Give me that in
bang,
VR.
Bang, milsim.
You bought Bungie. Give me Destiny in VR. That'd kill me. That would just no. Don't give me Destiny in VR, please. I would just shut everything down and just play Destiny all the time. So don't give me Don't give me Destiny VR, please.
I do. So I dabbled the other day. We did a live stream doing it was building Lego, and I tried. Meta have a virtual desktop like thing now in beta on the Quest. It does not in any way, shape, or form replace virtual desktop, even in the slightest. But I was testing that whilst viewing my Lego instructions on there and then building the Lego through pass-through. And it was very, very good. But doing stuff like maybe playing Destiny on a big-ass screen in pass-through, I'm starting to get the itch of like, okay, I'm going to start playing more flat games, but I'm going to do it in a VR headset using virtual desktop. And then I sit and I watch Paradise Decay's videos. Because there's not like a week goes by, he's not shoehorning some flat game into 3D and then playing it in virtual desktop in his headset. And I'm like, dude might just be a pioneer and he might actually be onto something. And maybe I want to start doing this for a bunch of my games too. Because it's the only way I'm going to play them. I've got 2,000 games on Steam. I've maybe completed 5. Like, I need to play more games. So maybe that's the way I do it.
But yeah, I think it's got a push for. I'm just hoping it does push some more AAAs out there. Do I think it will? I don't think it will in the short term, but hopefully we might.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly received the PD, for example. He's received contact from developers. They're just like, this game looks really great. Like, it looks like you're having a really good time. We're going to try and shoehorn this into VR. So if that is a thing, if that is happening, then brilliant, good on you, man, for sure. Get more games into VR, and then there's the flat to VR Unreal mod, which is they've been dangling that carrot, but I think there's a select few people that have access to it, and they're trying as many games as they can, and seeing what works and what doesn't. I've been very, very tempted to try and get like a bootleg version of that and just start playing my vast catalog of UE games that I have, because they've been giving away games every single week since they launched it.
Yeah.
And there's some great games on there too.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that to be a thing. It just needs to be a thing. And we do need more AAA, because and the thing is, I don't think AAA for VR is the same kind of AAA.
No.
Really, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are definitely the massive tentpole games, your Half-Life Alyxes and things like that of VR, your Assassin's Creed now. But then, what most people would say is a VR AAA game, your Synapse, all of the games like this, most AAA studios would look at that and be like, yeah,
like we said earlier, like
level.
Arizona Sunshine, that'll probably fall into to me for a AAA VR game.
It does, yeah, absolutely. The Vertigo games, they make our AAA games. They absolutely do. After the Fall is a superb game. Arizona Sunshine 1, phenomenal game. And to be fair, they're a little bit kind of the same game reskinned, but it's fine, because they're doing it and they're doing it well. And if it ain't broke, don't fuck with it. Do it. Absolutely keep doing it. So yeah, they make great games in that way. And then they also did the likes of your Fisherman's Tale and what was the other one that was Vertigo, and I was absolutely shocked and then incredibly pleased because it turned out to be really great. It was some of the older games as well. You play them, you're like, oh crap, this is a Vertigo game. Oh, cool. Yeah, they've been around for a minute, and they are making some absolute stonkers. So I'm totally fine.
About the Seventh Guest. Seventh Guest is outstanding.
That was Vertigo. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was Vertigo games. So yeah, they are doing astonishing things. They are the one of the big 3-5 studios on VR that just they don't miss.
Yep.
They just don't miss. So I'm absolutely fine with that. I mean, you could say the same for Servios, but I have a very poor, low opinion of their games. But that's me. I'm not going to push
Is
my own
it
personal agenda.
is it Virgo Games have just announced like the hiring for a big IP?
I know they said they're hiring a social media type person. So if you're after that kind of game, it is a hybrid remote role in Stockholm,
Yeah.
I think. So keep that one in mind, because in the past they've had such wonderful people like Gamertag VR, who they set on and then realized that they couldn't work with somebody who's in the UK. So yeah, you probably want to be out in that region of the world if you're going to apply for that. But
I think they announced that the Vertigo Games were looking to hire for
is
yeah,
it Fast Travel that's doing Mannequin,
yeah.
or is that Vertigo as well?
No, that's Fast Travel, yeah.
I thought so.
Vertigo
See, they're
Games
spreading themselves quite thin, and hopefully that's good.
Vertigo Games has a big high profile title in the works that's based on a global recognized franchise. So they've been hiring for that recently. And there's a few rumors going around that it's maybe because them getting that announcement fell hand in hand with something else that's happened in the VR space. There's people, it's rumors, so it's not, don't take this away as gospel. That it's
Exclusive, folks. Exclusive.
possibly
You heard it here first.
it's possibly a Metro VR game. And the reason this rumor's going around is like a Metro Exodus type from that series.
Yeah.
The reason that rumors started is because when they announced this, the working as Big Eye, known globally IP, the developer of Paradox of Hope got a cease and desist on developing that because they're saying he's stealing assets and working from. He's put out there from a known game that was like his, and that was very much, everyone was saying that was Metro in VR, and he's basically had to cease development on it. He can't afford to go through the court case and stuff. He's had to just cease development on it because he's getting these threats from a company. Everyone's like, so people are putting that together and thinking, is it going to be a Metro game? Because that he's been told to cease development on that game.
Who knows?
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's in my head. You said Into the Radius, even though I actually heard you say Paradox of Hope, but I was like, wait, that's gonna vanish. Yeah, Paradox of Hope, which also looked absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
So that's a shame that's gonna die a death.
Well, he's
and
basically he has announced that he's just going to reskin it in a different setting and stuff, and
right.
It's getting released as a separate game. He's just had this. Obviously, Paradox Hope was in early access. He's just ceased development on it, and he's working on this new game, which he's going to be able to reskin some of it and make it a different game. But he's going to obviously it's starting development on a new game. He can't afford to do it for his
no. I've said this many a time. Nobody at the moment realistically should think about getting into VR to get rich.
No,
they really shouldn't, because it is just not the install base yet.
No,
it is just. But people do make money in VR, and that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that are making VR games, they are doing it for love, not money.
Yeah.
And for them to kill somebody who is making a VR game out of love in that way, it's a little bit annoying. I don't.
Like I said, it might not be that, but it's just that's like people just putting it together because it sort of came around the same time. And
maybe, but either way, it's still kind of messed up that they would do that. Like
even if it wasn't Vertigo and like the developers of Metro have just killed it for that reason, it's still not nice.
But rather than do that, why not extend an olive branch and be like, look, you're doing this thing and blah blah blah, but maybe we could do something together. Like maybe we could call this Metro the Paradox of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe we can work together and we can maybe give you a little bit of help, and then you can collaborate rather than just destroy.
Mm-hmm.
in an ideal world, but at the end of the day, litigious things and lawyers and money and copyright, and that's all a thing as well. And while I live in a dream world where everybody's friends, not the case.
Well, yeah, I think it's a shame, but if he has used assets from there, I suppose they've got a right to say it, even if it's not anything to do with that, and it is just the people who made Metro going out. Maybe he has used assets from their game and somewhere. I don't know, but like I said, it's always a shame to see someone's passion project get shut down like that.
Yeah, it is. Certainly is. Do you
actually, on other note, we mentioned it that to me it should have been Game of the Year out of the options. Vertigo 2 was being announced the 12th of December, so we lost Bulletstorm on the 12th of December for PlayStation users. I mean, for everyone, but PlayStation losers lost that on the 12th, but now they're getting Vertigo 2 on the 12th on PlayStation at least. So PlayStation users have sort of had it replaced.
Yes, we should have been getting... I mean, you never know, it may have been a slight part of the reason why they pushed it. You never know. Probably not. I can't see there's a massive crossover between the two, but yeah, that game got pushed back last month to December, so
yeah,
that's coming into fruition, and I'm finally going to play Vertigo 2 because I want it on the PlayStation. I can play it on the PC and it'll be absolutely brilliant, but yeah, I can't wait to play it on the PlayStation because, as I say, I think that's essentially my most visually superior headset.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to play that.
Yeah. I can imagine Zach has probably used the haptics in ways that he just loves implementing everything. So I imagine he's got a good use of haptics, adaptive triggers. I'm sure he's done would have worked on them. Like.
Oh, absolutely. Any interest in a PlayStation Portal just while we're winding down?
No, I don't think I'd ever use it outside of the house, and I live on my own, so I'm never gonna I need to
use the PlayStation.
Yeah, I can just use the TV. I'm not gonna have to go, oh, you can watch it, I'll go and play this. I'm just gonna be able to play it. So
I get that new toy itch, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it's not even got any graphical capabilities, so I can shoehorn, emulator games on it or anything. It's literally just a way of playing a PlayStation away from a PlayStation, which is fine if that's what you want. Don't get me wrong. There are people that, they might just be like, well, look, rather than sitting in my room playing the PlayStation, I'll come hang out with you next to you and play the PlayStation, which is brilliant, and that's fine. It's definitely got its use case, but not for me.
I think they've got an audience. I know I listened to the Cross Button podcast who focus on PlayStation VR 2, but obviously they were talking about, because two of them got the PlayStation Portal, and one of them was saying it's nice sometimes just to go and sit with his wife where she wants to watch something on the telly, but you can sit next to her and they can still have a conversation while he's playing Baldur's Gate or whatever and she's watching what she wants to watch on the telly. He said it's it gives you that option. Another thing I wasn't...
Steam Deck would do the same for me.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on about it was, obviously, even when you're using it out of your house, you've got to have obviously decent enough connection, and you've always got to leave your PlayStation in standby mode because your PlayStation 5 has to be on for it to work. So even if you're out of the house, you're gonna have to. You can turn it out of standby mode on the.
You can you can open the PlayStation up while it's in rest mode.
Yeah.
You can turn it on and everything remotely, but
you have to have it in rest mode basically.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a thing that you're in a rush to do.
I think I understand. I think I understand why they took that approach, because I know people are saying, well, they should have just done a Steam Deck type thing, but that's why it's £200, because they haven't.
Yeah, the price definitely reflects that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Sony also have a cloud streaming service where you can just stream old games and stuff via the cloud. Why is that not a thing on this device?
Oh yeah, because even on that service, they don't install to your console, do they? I'm thinking Game Pass installs them to the Xbox and that. but that's just a streaming thing, isn't it? Yeah.
My Sony Game Pass or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe. But yeah, it just seems a bit of a missed opportunity on that one. And another thing that I wanted to get to before we get to questions, because we are wrapping up. Rumors have it the GTA 6 is going to have a trailer very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Other rumors say it's going to cost upwards of over £100 to buy the base game.
Mm.
But what if Sony issued the cease and desist? Rockstar issued the cease and desist to Luke Ross for his VR mod for GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
What if they brought VR to GTA 6?
Mm.
That would be another AAA game that would sell headsets.
See,
and it would sell headsets.
I think
Meta should throw money at them.
I think Sony should.
It would make more sense for Sony to do it because they're going to have the console that can run it. But somebody should throw money at them, and Meta seem to be more interested in throwing money at developers, even though they own a bunch. They seem more interested in throwing money at developers to get these games. So I truly would love that to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it ever actually will, but I would love the December the 20th. They announce they show the game that it actually mentions there may be a PSVR 2 mode. That would be so good.
Yeah.
That would be a show up and take my money kind of moment.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. But I think, if anything, if anyone would, hopefully it'd be Sony, because I'd hate to think the amount of loading screens you'd have on the Quest for the size of the game. You'd like get to the end. You'd get to the end of the street. Load the next part.
It would be impossible. It would absolutely be impossible.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to, like, it'd be a PC game, and we all know that Meta doesn't care about PC. So.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of questions in chat though.
Okay.
The first one being GTA Potato. If you could spend the day with a development company or team, like a VR studio, presumably VR, which studio do you pick? And if you would care to elaborate as to why, by all means do. That wasn't part of the question.
You know what? I think End Dreams for me.
Yes, I completely understand that. I had floated the idea of traveling down to End Dreams in the not Brighton. Why have I got Brighton in my head? Wherever they are down south and turn right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I floated the idea of going down there and actually just going and chatting with them and whatever. Like, I would totally do it at my own expense and stuff. And it was one of those, maybe one day sort of things that came about. So I am absolutely up for that, even if it's just to, go and kiss everybody's asses, because I dig that studio in a big bad way. Every time I see them at shows and stuff, we always spend a good sort of 20, 30, 40 minutes just hogging their time and stealing all of their merchandise that they have at the booth. Yes, this is so. Yeah, I totally do dig hanging out with End Dreams. So that is a fantastic shout. I can, from personal experience, tell you that hanging out with Soul Assembly is probably one of the best, most fun experiences I've had. Like, it's bucket list stuff. Like, it's top 5 VR related memories. I'll say that, so I don't have to worry about wedding days and things. Yeah, absolutely up there, top 5. Spending the day with Soul Assembly was so much fun, and take away all of the, free food and things they just forced into us, which was astounding. Just hanging out with them as a studio and talking to them, they're all just so great, real people. There are very extroverted people there that, you know, would come along and make me feel included. And then towards the end of the day, I managed to find a pack of introverts.
Yeah.
And we got together and had a chat and stuff. And I still sort of casually chat with them as well. And they're just a phenomenal group of people. But because I've already done that, I feel I should choose a different studio now.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've taken Endreams, and rightly so. They're a great studio. If I could pick a different studio, I feel like I've got various different criteria. So I could totally say fast travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would get me a lot closer to hanging out with Ball than if I was to say the resolution games or somebody like that. Right, okay, gun to the head, Vertigo. Yeah, Vertigo games.
That was I was umming and ahhing between Endreams and Vertigo games. So
yeah, I was trying to think of like Reddit Dawn and stuff like that because Low and Echo is astounding, and I would love to hang out with them. And technically, it's an Oculus studio, so I would be able to nurture that relationship, and maybe one day they would accept me as a human being. I don't know, but yeah, no, Vertigo just they just make bangers. They really do, and it looks like a pretty cool place to hang out.
yeah, I'm gonna say all the videos and pictures of people release hanging out with them. That all seems like a pretty cool environment to be in.
Yeah, but my temptation is, once again, I love talking to the people because of the passion that they have for VR, and I feel like they're big enough to have people that aren't as passionate about VR. Like it's a day job for them.
Yeah.
And that's where I just think maybe that's not the choice. And I was like, oh, do I go My Dearest? Because I can speak to Alberto I have at length spoken to Alberto. Yeah. SciTech Games, I love hanging out with John, and I would love to meet more of the people behind. Well, I've met quite a few people behind Windlands. So I would love to spend a day at SciTech. There's XR games are fairly close-ish to me, I think, and I keep badgering them to try and get a studio tour, but
in Leeds, in Leeds XR.
I believe so, yeah. So that's like an hour or so away from me. I could quite easily, and I would happily just zip on over there. Yeah, so that's the thing, just hanging out with the developers, and the best way to do that, it's one of my favorite things to do. It's the reason why I attend most of these shows. I don't give a crap about playing the new Sonic game or the latest Dark Souls that's coming in a year or whatever. People queue for hours for them.
Yeah.
I just spent 20 minutes stood queuing up for VR stuff or whatever. And yeah, I just chat to the developers at length. Like, oh, do you want to play the game? It's like, no, let this person do it. While they're doing that, I'll just chat to you. So I just let the next person go and chat to the developers. It's just my favorite thing to do. Next year, more guests. If people are happy with this, I want to get more guests. I loved chatting to the Tatiana, was it? About Call of the Sea.
Call of the Sea. Yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to do that more. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we discussed it. I think you're saying we should start doing it starting next year.
Yeah.
Start looking at getting more and more people in. Guessing.
I'll start. Shaking those trees and seeing what comes loose. But if there are any studios or developers or anybody that you want us to go for, like, give me a reason I can go. Our viewers want to see you talk about your game. Maybe Switchback. I can go for them because they are, once again, the passion and joy. I don't know whether it was so much passion about VR as much as it was terrifying me.
Yeah.
Either way, totally dig him. Absolutely dig him. So I'll see if I can get him to come and chat with us.
We can we can use this that I was shocked to get an email about, which I shared with you the other day. It was in the last 30 days we were. I've even forgot what number it is. That's not good, is it?
Oh yeah, we were like 39th
30th position
video game podcast or in
Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Yeah, which was 39. They're the 30th most
Oh.
listened to video gaming podcast in Canada in the last 30 days on Apple Podcasts. Completely.
Yeah, top 30 video game podcast
Yeah.
in Canada, everybody. So hello, Canada.
I know, but-
I'm not going to insult you by saying A at the end of that sentence. Or mentioning syrup or mousses. So yes,
So we fit the
studios definitely.
Fit the other question in. Definitely look at getting more people in to talk. Final question. As we wrap up, best VR co-op game. Ooh.
There's I have not laughed as much as I did laugh when I played Arizona Sunshine with Buck.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredibly fun. Playing Survive SUR1v3. That was a great co-op game.
Yeah.
Windlands is just great in and of itself. Just watching your mates just swing around and bow and arrowing crap. Windlands 2. That's awesome. That's like asking me to pick a child.
I know, it's very best. Like for me, it's all like you said. There's so many good criteria for it. Like you said, Windlands 2 always have a fantastic time playing that, like in co-op. After the Fall for me is probably up there. I mean, to me actually, there's only one winner for this category. Walkabout Mini Golf.
Walkabout Mini Golf. I can make an argument for not liking it, but you are absolutely right. Walkabout Mini Golf is a cracking game. I'm gonna lump all of the four VR games together. Because they all technically bleed into one. You can just walk into one and play the others. Because they're great. Bowling and darts, and I've not played pool yet. I want to play pool. Mr. Bowl, we should play pool. I want to play that one. And then so the space game that Zim's obsessed with, No Man's Sky, you could realistically call that a AAA, a multiplayer game that's also got VR.
Yeah.
Arizona Sunshine, as I said, that's just brilliant. Demio, can't forget the cappuccino launcher. We've got some fond memories. And this is the thing. Is it that the game is the best game to play in VR, or is it just that I've generated some very good memories?
Yeah, I see what I mean. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna gun to the head. I'm gonna choose Arizona Sunshine because that was I've played that with quite a few different people.
Yeah,
and loved it. Like I can't get enough of that game.
I'm still gonna stick with thingy for me. Walkabout
Mini Golf. Yeah, it's good. One of the big issues that I have with Walkabout Mini Golf, and they will end on a negative note, is that if you end up playing with like 8 people, a round of golf takes 9 hours.
Yeah.
And a battery only lasts 2.
Yeah.
So the amount of times I keep trying to play, I end up not seeing the end of it because there's just so damn many of us.
You have like on the thing of Walkabout is 7th of December. We finally get the Meow Meow course. Keep an eye on this one. Is it Meow Meow?
I don't know what that means.
It's like a sensory place, like a real life sensory place I've worked with.
Oh, okay.
And they've made a course based on it.
Could be interesting. So yes, but I've played Walkabout with many different people as well, many different walks of life. From you guys to Vivian to I've played. Sorry, I'm forgetting who you are. I'm sorry, but yeah, I've played with various different people, and it is a fun game. I can't lie. It is a really fun game. But you said that, so I'll pick some else.
Yep. Right. That is the end of the questions.
But until next time, I've been Dr. Oculus. You can catch me here to all these links that are below me right here at twitch.tv, Dr. Oculus VR. Dr. Oculus VR on Instagram, Dr. _Oculus on Twitter. Yeah, places. Watch me do things. Fun times. Podcast coming on YouTube as well, so you can catch it back there if ever you want to catch some older episodes.
Yep. And for me, catching me on this channel, the VR Realm on Twitter, VR Realm on TikTok. I don't do TikTok very much, but I should, because I put a Smash Drums video out on there and it flew up in crazy views. So maybe I should start doing it more. I just never remember to. And the VRrealm.com, plenty of reviews over there.
You go.
I keep stuff there. I mean, I think recently there's been reviews coming every other day at the moment because of how crazy it is. So keep an eye out on over there for reviews, and obviously audio version. If you listen to this, you know where it is. It's on all the big platforms. Just search for
wherever you get your
the
podcasts.
VRverse. Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone. So next month we will be like we said, we won't be following the last of every Tuesday because that's Boxing Day. But we'll appear next month.
Keep an eye on the socials. We have a Twitter account for the podcast as well.
Oh,
so,
yes, we do. Yeah.
Follow that if ever you want to know whenever we're going live. If you don't want to follow us,
and we will also next month we'll be talking about our VR games of the year. We've got that's always settled in December.
yes, yeah, I've got a month to play 19,000 games. So yeah, I'm gonna go play more games.
So yeah, we'll be back next month with that. That's what we'll be looking at next year. But yeah, thank you everyone, and until next month, goodbye for now.
Oh.